So 4 questions on each hepatitis, viral hepatitis, because we have A, B, C, D, and E. There are other types, but we'll focus on A to E, all right? And there's a table to make it easy for you. So the 4 questions are, how are they transmitted? Meaning, how does the patient get it? So of course, that means we have to know how to prevent, right? So if you know how it's transmitted, then you focus on prevention. And then if they do get it, what will be the signs and symptoms? Okay. And then treatment, of course, but part of the treatment is how do we prevent it again from happening? Okay. So when we say prevention, under management, that means we don't want any transmission also, correct? Okay. So which is tied closely to how do you get it, right? Because if you get it, then so if you know how you get it, then you also know how to prevent transmission to others. Okay, so A, B, C, D, and E. There's an intro here which already gives you a introduction. A and E are similar. The fecal oral route, meaning it's fecal and then enters your mouth. Doesn't mean you're eating crap. Okay, so that means this is eating what? Contaminated food and water, okay, or food and beverages. Does it have to be food and beverages? No, it could be any object, okay, including oral sex. Okay, that is included. Well, in the female, how many centimeters are the difference between the vagina, the urethra, and the anus? All right. So are there fecal material at any given time in that area? Yes. So when you have an infected person with A or E, then someone performs oral sex on them, so what will happen? Okay, that's fecal oral. All right. So don't be too, too narrow about, oh, it's food. Then you see sex here. Oh, then don't say, oh, this is an exemption, okay? Because it's not like a salad or something, but you're eating it, right?
You're eating it.
Sorry.
In Russian, hepatitis and you call and you call dirty hands disease.
Dirty hands?
Yeah.
Ah. Okay. Or something other than hands also, yeah? Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, basically. No, I'm just, because on the exam, you see that, understand that there are other ways. Okay, so same thing as in the hospital. Okay, when we interview, when in the intake under triage, so symptoms of hepatitis, the questions aren't related to, oh, did you recently travel? Okay, or if it's not the person who traveled, did you have contact with someone who recently traveled? Okay, and then did you have sex with that person? So that's included there. All right. All right. So let's start with the each one, and then we'll go to the, okay, let's start with this table. So table 43-4 gives you all you won't see E here. Why again? It's the same. So when we say E, think of A, all right? The main difference between A and E is certain number of countries, but that was decades ago though, because E used to be contracted only in a few countries, but now not anymore. I mean, people have, traveled everywhere, so it's pretty much there. Say you see A here, most definitely you see E there as well. Okay, but it's basically the same oral fecal route. Now, B and D are also related because you cannot get D unless you have B previously contracted. Okay, so it's like reverse RNA, meaning the D needs B in order to enter the liver cell. Meaning if you're exposed to D, but you don't have the hepatitis B already in your bloodstream, you cannot get infected, okay, because it can't enter. Okay, it needs the help, of the B virus. Okay, so therefore because B can be prevented with a vaccine, correct? So if you're vaccinated against B, essentially you are vaccinated against D. Make sense? Right. C today still has no vaccine. We're working on it, but all are treatable though. So A, B, C, D, and E are basically all treatable. Used to be B and D were like HIV before. Okay, before HIV treatment, because now we're not worried anymore. HIV is now treatable. Yeah, I mean, we can't eradicate it, but at least you become undetectable, right? So you're no longer able to transmit it anymore. Okay, but basically no cure, but there is effective treatment today. So same thing with B and C. Okay, there's treatment now. As far as signs and symptoms, the acute form really is in A and E. Okay, these two have acute forms. B, C, and D all have chronic nature, right? Meaning the patient, yeah, you may have acute bouts of hepatitis B, but that's quite rare. Okay, so the acute really infections are in A and E, wherein you're deathly sick. Okay, you could die from dehydration, so vomiting, diarrhea, severe abdominal pain, right? So A and E will kill you like right now. B, C, and D kill you later, right? So here are the acute manifestations for A and E. So the headache, malaise, this is pre. And then once you turn yellow already, that's when the major discomfort symptoms start. Please keep in mind, dark urine is not the same as orange, all right? So dark urine, like you're peeing coffee or peeing Coca-Cola or Pepsi, okay? So like cola color. If you have treatment, yeah, people recover from A&E, okay, as long as you receive treatment, and there is no chronic form, right? You don't like become chronically A&E. Yeah, you get treated, you get cured. But B, C, and D, always chronic form. But you do develop antibodies against them. Right, and then just go with the details here on paragraph to paragraph. Okay, so there are specific examples here. I can copy and paste the details. Again, what are the four questions you need to answer on hepatitis? How do you get it? And then the details again are in the paragraph. See, for instance, here hepatitis A can be transmitted during sexual activity. All right. So hepatitis A is not transmitted by blood transfusions. All right. So if you get a matrix question, for instance, so you just pick, okay, so what is I put all the hepatitis and then what's the transmission? And I give you examples. Okay. So let's say I put there through sex, which can be transmitted through sex. Okay. Includes A and E. Okay. Tells you, of course, B, C, and D, bloodborne. Of course, that would be through sex as well, unprotected sex.
Is it true about the death?
That's very rare now. I mean, yeah, we still have those questions in through dental, but I mean, dental instruments are sterilized unless you go to a crappy dentist. Okay, we should not have a license anymore. Yeah, in the 70s, 80s, you know, but standards, especially in countries here, I mean, probably if you go to some, I don't know. Yes. Okay, so how is it transmitted? Which implies again prevention. Okay, so prevention means you know how to prevent the transmission, and then signs and symptoms, and finally patient teaching. Patient teaching, of course, includes signs and symptoms as well as prevention or transmission. It's all related. So here are the tests. So what is it? How is it transmitted? Signs and symptoms, prevention, then management, Remember, management will include patient teaching, and then repeat. They have nice tables like this for each one. I won't go through each of the sections, okay? So you read A, B, C, D. Please don't forget, E is same as A, so they don't do E separately. Yes. So here, so in this prevention, so let's go to D. Oh no, there's no D. Anyway, so D is a reverse RNA type of virus, meaning it needs the help of another. So it needs the help of B in order to create an infection, meaning to enter the cells. If there's no B available, I mean, there's no key. It cannot enter any body cell. Hmm? D? Yeah, so let's say you have a partner, right? Oh, you have D? Okay, but I don't have B, so it's okay.
So in the event that you later get exposed, you were first exposed to D.
No, B.
No, so you were first exposed to D like David,
Oh, D?
and then you later get exposed to D. Does the D exist? in,
No,
like, a
because it
baby form?
can't live in you. Like I said, yeah, it can't.
Okay.
It's impossible. Because I mean, how's it gonna survive? It
Okay.
needs a host.
There's no symptoms
No.
for D.
And it just passes.
So you get B. It just
So
passes on
unless
its
B
own.
was ever present.
Yeah, you
you
can't
cannot
ever
have
be,
this.
yeah, and it's impossible to get infected with D unless you have prior exposure to B.
Got it.
And here's some of the teaching also. Yeah, of course, we know about alcohol, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So avoid alcohol and some of these medications here. St. John's wort. One thing about liver disease. Because the liver is sick, right? So let's say you have A and E, right? So it's an acute infection. So your liver is inflamed. Remember, liver metabolizes protein, correct? So you have to, that's why it's limited. See, you have, it's not like you can't have protein, but we have to limit it because every time you eat protein, yeah, makes your liver work. It's already inflamed, so it will exacerbate the symptoms. And this will apply also when we get to liver disease, which is cirrhosis. So small, frequent meals, at least the liver doesn't have to work so hard with a big meal. And of course, this means fluid replacement is necessary when you have the acute symptoms of nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. All right. Okay.